Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Little King story playthrough. So, we got a little bit of treasure hunting done yesterday after a lovely party. And now it is time to just see what we can do. Okay, so there's an apple we can do there. Oh, for God's sake, not another bloody runaway dragon. I suppose we're going to have to deal with it. And I think I may have told a slight fib in the last part. Because I think we... Oh, there we go! Didn't tell a fib at all! We've now modified the podium because we've gotten enough citizens to allow that to be a thing. Essentially, as Liam is stating, it allows us to equip our guard, well, our royal guard, with anything we like. Not quite anything we like, but any treasures that we've picked up along the way. And that is certainly something that we will be making extensive use out of. You really do want to use it up. And seeing as, you know, we've got the money for that, really all we've got left at the present moment is to save up for the shopping arcade, which is obviously ridiculously expensive. I think it's just going to be another day of hunting and doing quests and trying to get money. That said, this is going to be a slightly longer day, maybe because I think it might be 2 days. But we are also going to be dealing with one of those Guardian bosses in this very part. Now, what you see me doing right now is just making sure that I just completely remove my Royal Guard, so that I've not got anything to worry about for the time being. Really, I could very well just pick them up and dash to the beach to pick up the people that we lost yesterday, but no, I am just being a sod and collecting loads of art pieces because obviously at the end of the last part we found out that they've been scattered all over the world, and as I said, some of them are very easy to spot. Some of them, however, like the one that is stuck up the tree, may be a little bit difficult for you to realise exactly what you're meant to do. Because, well, I certainly know that for the longest time when I first played the game, I was just like, how the hell do I get those pictures? They are infuriating me because none of my soldiers will go up them, not even the carefree adults will go up them. What is going on? The one thing that I didn't think to try out for the longest of times was the children. Because the children can't actually do anything. Apart from the fact that children can climb trees in this game. They are like monkeys in that fashion. And I suppose if you took Little King's story to be an origin story for current civilization, which it clearly isn't, then you can understand where the term cheeky monkey comes from. It's really stretching, but we'll just go with it. So yes, if you want to get any art pieces that are located up trees, send in the kids. Put them to work. Because, you know, we can't have any freeloaders in this society. I mean, we are going to end up with a lot of carefree adults, because I'm just going to be expanding and not really employing them, because unless I employ them as farmers and grunt soldiers, it costs money. And I really can't be arsed spending that much. I need to pump this money into infrastructure and employing the important jobs. So, really only as many as is necessary. So, obviously this is the citizen list. I've been faffing about in it for a ridiculous amount of time. But we've now got the Cupid's bow equipped. We've also got those striped undies equipped. And the toy staff does absolutely sod all, but we'll just give it to Caden anyway. And then, hopefully, it'll be all fine and dandy. And now that we have the ability to access the citizen list, it's just going to be so much easier to build a team, because we don't have to go running around for anybody, we don't have to try and call teams together and then try and frantically pick them out of the lineup and all that jazz. Now, as you can see, I am attempting to do the stupid thing of... I'm pretty sure if I knock it down it'll come down, and no. Stop being such a div past me, this isn't going to work. And you know it's not going to work.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So... that's pretty much about it, until we get to the interesting bit at the end of the video. So I suppose I can kind of talk about the whole thing behind Ginger, although there's really very little to talk about. What happened was that I believe they asked kids to, well, asked people in general, because there's a vast variety of artwork that got sent in, to send in pieces of art and just ideas for UMA monsters, and the implication is that they could potentially become an enemy in the game, which means that you end up with some really quite curious designs. Some are adorably crude, because obviously they were drawn by cute little kids. Others are very, very excellent. And funnily enough, there's also actually a difference between the USA release of Little King Story and the Japan and PAL version, because the USA version has different art to the Japan and PAL version, which is something that I never actually knew. But it's there, and I am totally down with that. Always fun to have a bit of Japanese art in there. Although saying that, some of these American monsters are really well designed. Some of them, i.e. art piece number 00, well, art piece 03, which is Amani-tan by KL, is a mushroom girl who's clearly, one, inspired by Toad, but also clearly meant to be waifu material. And while Little King Story is certainly a game that encourages picking waifus, I'd rather not. And in part that is why New Little King Story got it so wrong. Because while Little King Story has the whole saving the princesses side of things, and obviously being a young child and, you know, marrying a princess, and there clearly being a little bit of fun time going on, that's not the primary focus of the game. The primary focus of the game is taking on the kings, but New Little King Story placed the focus very directly on the princesses and the life simulation side of things with the princesses. And it essentially just turned it into a harem life simulator, which I know is certainly something beloved by many gaming people, mostly the major anime, however you want to go with the meme. Many fans of that type of game. I personally am not a fan of the harem dating simulator type things, because, I don't know, well, for starters, they just make me feel very, very, very uncomfortable. And also because, you know, a lot of them end up being quite perverted. And while I am totally okay with a bit of sex and rock and roll, there comes a line, and frequently they cross that line, and I think New Little King Story, unfortunately, while retaining an element of cuteness, still very much crosses the line, and just it's not a tone that I want to be seeing in the majority of video games. It's quite funny when adorable creations and people designs like this do naughty things. See Avenue Q, which includes, you know, the song which is entirely about puppet sex. You can be as loud as the hell you want when you're making love, which is a hilarious song and it works wonderfully. But when it's very heavily anime inspired character portraits, getting married, and it's very clear that the focus is on the love. It just doesn't quite sit so well. It just comes off as a bit sleazy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I can deal with a bit of filth, but I really don't like sleaze. And also, I knew there'd be something up here eventually. Just took bloody forever for anything to turn up. So I did that long run for you the other day, and then we've had to do it all over again to pick up that. But first, there's actually two art pieces up this path. One which is right at the end, and one which is obviously on that little drop bit. So we'll spend far too long up here. Obviously, if you want to actually continue with the story and try and make some form of narrative progress or exploratory progress, you can just go through the archway to the left-hand side of this area and head on out into the Sunflower Plains. But as I said before, we very much want to prepare before that moment comes. Also, I'm surprised I didn't look at this note before we arrived here, but oh well. And also, oh dear, this is not going to be a pleasant area to be trying to deal with a runaway dragon. It's tiny! And really, this is probably one of the areas that I am least fond of tackling enemies in, because it's so tight that there's not really a whole lot of room to maneuver, and that's just frustrating. Also, you probably saw that our hunter was attempting to make use of Cupid's bow right there. And unfortunately, I don't think it's quite affecting this runaway dragon, but it's going to come in so much use in the future that really you're never going to want to have it unequipped. That is, unless you're not using any hunters. But at this point, really, you want to be mostly having a team of hunters, or at least a minimal team of hunters with you at all times. For the time being, I think at least 4 should just about do it, and then as we increase the number of guard badges that we own, we will also increase the number of hunters that join us. But we need to get to that point first, which is obviously going to take quite a lot of money. So this is why I say that Little King Story hits a little bit of a slow patch around here. Because we're just going round the same areas multiple times, just picking up money. It's sort of fun to play, in the sense of Just think about all of, like, the Harvest Moon games and stuff. A lot of those revolve quite entirely on you returning to locations to do repetitive tasks. And it can be fun, but it can also be ever so slightly dull. But you return to it because it is sort of an obligation. It's also the same with, like, Animal Crossing, in a way. You do the same tasks to keep up on your duties. And there's something almost relaxing about just chilling and going through everything, and I'm not quite sure what... Oh, there's an enemy there that I can't see. That's helpful. Also, I'm pretty sure that enemy was a toilet. Well, the picture was a toilet. Which, wow. There is a surprising amount of potty humour in the Little story. It's just like, really? You just had to go for the lowest common denominator with some of these enemies. You couldn't get, like, hugely creative and give me some sort of fire-breathing UFO god. No, you had to give me a toilet with a face. Smooth. Very smooth. But it's all good because it is stuff that fans sent in, and it's really lovely that they did include so much art, because you got 100 pieces from Japan/Europe, at least I'm assuming some of it at least comes from Europe, and then you got 100 pieces from America. So that is a lot of art. Obviously, each version only has a certain, well, 100 of each. But it's nice when they include stuff like that. It's the same reason why I love all of the pictures in Child of Eden. It just gives it a nice little special touch. Because it suggests quite a bit of care has been involved in the process. And there's a respect for fans, and it allows them to have a little bit of involvement, a little piece of history in a game. In a way, it's like a bit of a precursor to Kickstarter. Bear with us on this one. I mean that in the respect of people getting their names into video games. Obviously, Kickstarter introduced the whole funding video games with your own money, and obviously then the company being accountable to you in a way, although that has obviously had mixed results. But it's a way of showing your appreciation for a developer or a specific title. And it's always quite lovely to see. Because it shows that people care, and it shows that the developers care about the people who care, so it works out for everyone. Now, if you want to hand in pieces of art, just enter Ginger's outdoor exhibition. So we've picked up 14, which is good, but perhaps not great. I think we potentially could have gotten 15. Yeah, so we just need one blooming more painting, and then we were good to go. Obviously, if I did the smart thing and, you know, got a kid and went up hunting around to pick up those pieces of art up trees, then we would have had that, but yeah, it's going to be a while yet before that happens, because I don't know, I thought I just want to make progress, and while it's annoying me that I haven't got these pieces of art, and for a while I couldn't quite remember, And it wasn't until I spotted it in the guide that I was using, I was just like, oh my god, I am such an idiot. So, it's going to be a while yet. But what happened after I realised, I just thought, well, you know what's probably the simplest solution? If I just wait until, you know, the guide mentions it and go do a massive sweep up then. And then that'll just be incredibly satisfying, because then it'll be like a, do you remember where the pieces of art on the trees were located? Time to find out! And, you know, just be like a real sado, make it into like sort of weird Where's Wally type narrative, and we can't blooming do anything right now. So, really all that is left to us right now is to go to sleep, and either spend an entire day, many more days, trying to save up money to build that shopping arcade, or we can do the smart thing, and we can go and try and take down one of the Guardian UMAs. Because, you know, I want to expand. We need to dominate the world, damn it. And no, I'm not dealing with a super escargot right now. It's telling me to go to the Jolly Bridge, but Pickle Gangsters might get a look in, but the other one, no, certainly not. We are going for that Guardian UMA. Now, do you remember that wonderful forest of mushrooms? Well, that actually is where our next Guardian UMA is located. And after we have passed on some of these bits of equipment to our soldiers, just to give them a little bit more health, or to make them poison proof, or what have you, I think we should be ready to take it all on. Obviously the toy stuff doesn't really do a whole lot, but still, it looks cute and funny, so we'll take it. Really, what I should potentially do is remove my carpenter, my lumberjack, well, my carpenters and my lumberjack, and maybe one farmer, and replace the rest of them with soldiers and hunters. But I'm just too lazy for that. I really do need to get better, to be fair, because laziness does not end well, shall we say. Because laziness means that you are more likely to have a team that is unsuitable for the task ahead. And having a team that's unsuitable for the task ahead means you're more likely to get dramatically screwed over in battle. And do I really want to sit and try and... Oh god, that is more mushrooms than I was expecting. Like, seriously, I thought, oh, there'll just be 2 of them, it'll be fine. No, there were 4. But actually, battling these mushrooms is surprisingly good practice for what lies ahead, because as you may have guessed, the Guardian UMA that we are facing, as stated in the quest marker, is going to be a huge mushroom. And it's going to be quite dangerous. So, I mean, I told you I had a very bad feeling about that purple mushroom, and turns out, proven right. I mean, just, oh, look at it, oh, it's disgusting. At least we have the William Tell Overture to make me just very happy. Now, the issue with this fight is that the Guardian of the Mushroom Forest, Much Bro, which part of me feels should be Mush Bro, just to, you know, make it more punny, is that obviously, so he runs about a lot, which means that he's very difficult to get your soldiers latched onto him to cause any damage. But then there's also this thing that he does. He spins around very quickly. Well, it's not too quickly. But if any of your soldiers get caught in that mist, they will be poisoned, which will obviously hurt them quite badly. And then there's obviously this whole jazz of him digging underground, and he will pop up and hurt your soldiers, and this is definitely the hardest fight that you'll face up to this point. He's really quite cruel. And while you have this thing over here, which I thought, oh, it's a fountain, it's going to heal me. Nope. I believe what that does is cures you of poison, but don't quote me on that. There isn't a real nice, helpful fountain in here to heal you up should you find yourself in danger. So you've just got to just hope for the best, and don't do that. Just really don't do that. So yeah, we are getting to the point where some of our soldiers and citizens are ending up in a really dangerous position. Much Bro does have pretty gosh darn easy tells, and he does leave enough time for you to be able to get out of the way, but just his constant running about just is very frustrating. And also I sent in my soldiers far too early there. Ridiculously far too early. It's just like, what were you thinking past me? Wait until the mist has disappeared, then send in your soldiers. Because at that point they're not going to get hurt so much. And annoyingly, Cupid's bow's not really doing me many favours right now. Which is really frustrating, because it's just like, come on! I thought we were going to have a good time, and... Game, stop telling me I'm dying way too much. I'm not meaning to. I'm just being incredibly reckless. It does mean that we're going to have to pay out quite a bit of death benefits at the end of the day, but I would rather pay out the death benefits than let this guy stick around for much longer, because he's just gonna be a pain. I don't want this. Feels like he smokes. A mushroom that smokes, how odd. But it feels like you don't want that sort of stench sitting around just by town. And also, I mean, I would really like this land because it's going to be integral to us actually successfully making it through Sunflower Plains. So, Much Bro, you need to die. Right about now would be nice. Oh, thank God for that. We did lose quite a few people, but we got a victory in the end, and that's all that matters. So it's a little bit more than zero effort, but I will happily take your praise, 'cause thank God for me, right? So, let's go to sleep for the day, and we shall see what's available to us in the morning. Hell yes!